right, guys, good evening. It's so great to see so many of you here live on the call for this week. We are talking about how to smash the rest of 2025 specifically today. Um, let's dive straight in. So, a lot of people can very much lose focus and lose momentum after summer. Whether you don't have kids or if you do, summertime is always pretty busy. We often have holidays. If you have kids, you've had the kids at home for all of summer. Maybe you're going back to work if you're a teacher or something like that. Quite often, after summer, people definitely feel like they start to lose a little bit of momentum. And what this call is all about today is how to break past that and how to not listen to the people that are going to tell you these things and going to do that. And so that you can stay really focused, block out the noise, keep things simple. And I want you all to be ending 2025 having smashed so many of your goals that you've set and feeling like you've really achieved a lot. People will start to say things to you at this time of year, and you will start to notice, particularly as we kind of get to like past Halloween and as we actually start to head into Christmas. I said the C word, I'm sorry, but actually, Christmas stuff is going to start to come around quicker than you guys think. But you will notice people will start to say stuff like, oh, well, this year's kind of almost done, so there's no point starting now. Or, well, kids have gone back to school, go back to work. I'll just start next month. I'll do it next year. Or, well, we're getting near Christmas now. Like, what's the point in you giving it your all? People will start to say this stuff to you. And there is absolutely no shade to anybody that might be saying that to you, but you guys are going to start to hear it and you're going to start to notice it. I know that I hear it every single year, whether it's to do with health and fitness or if it's to do with work, whatever it might be, people do really start to fall into that habit and fall into that trap of winding down. And I mean this with the utmost respect, but sometimes we have to not listen to those people and kind of block that out. Sometimes I think it's really worth us remembering that if you're hearing this from people that maybe aren't doing what you want to be doing, or maybe they aren't where you want to be, or maybe they're on a different path to you, maybe they're not prioritizing their health and their fitness right now. That's not where you're at. You want to be on the path of prioritizing your health and fitness and getting to your goals. Sometimes when people start saying this stuff to you, just have a little bit of a reality check and think, is this person where I want to be or on the same path? If not, take what they're saying with a pinch of salt. And like I said, I mean that with complete respect. But the difference between kind of falling off at this time of year or just absolutely smashing it is daily actions, and it's nothing to do with motivation. It's very normal for motivation to feel like it goes up and down, and we'll talk about this in a bit more detail as we go through this. But motivation is an emotion. It's not something tangible, and for that reason, it's not a good thing to rely on. So we're going to talk about that a bit more today. But I want to go through some focus points for you. But first of all, just a reminder. Um, been talking to so many of you guys about this. You don't need to be perfect in this journey. Absolutely not. If I was telling you guys that you would need to be perfect, I would be a massive hypocrite because I don't think I've ever kind of done this journey perfectly myself. You don't need to. You just need to really focus on being consistent. And you guys will hear me say this so much. It's kind of like my catchphrase at this point, I think. Consistency over perfection, consistency over perfection. But the reason why I say it to you guys so much is because it is so true. I used to think that I had to do everything totally perfectly. I had to have the perfect workout every time. I had to have the perfect food prepped. I had to get the perfect step count every day. I had to have the perfect night's sleep. Stuff's going to go wrong. It definitely is. Like life's always going to get in the way, and there are going to be things that come up and bump you along the way. That's just life. These things are going to happen. And you need to be prepared that they're going to happen. And just because they happen, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get where you want to be. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to progress. It means the opposite. You need to just be willing to take those knockbacks and take those setbacks in your stride and just focus on being consistent. You are so much better off trying to be consistent 100% of your time rather than just trying to be perfect for like a few days of the month. That consistency over time with some mistakes, with some slip ups, with some plans that have gone wrong in there, over time is going to compound and get you way better progress than just trying to be perfect for a very small window of time. So that's a reminder for you guys. But I have 5 focus points today that we're going to talk through that are going to be things that I want you to take with you after this call. If you really are serious about locking in, achieving everything that you want to achieve this year, getting to the 31st of December of this year, getting to New Year's Eve and thinking, I've had a great year and I have given this my all. no matter what happens. I want you to take these focus points with you so that you end the year on a massive high. The first thing is I want you guys to really focus on ruthless simplicity. Stop trying to do everything all at once. Particularly for those of you guys that are newer to this program and maybe you haven't done something like this before. There's so many ladies and so many guys I know that have joined that you guys have never really had a coach before, which is so exciting. And that's always a really exciting place to be. Maybe you're new to health and fitness as well. Like maybe you're new to the gym, maybe you're new to meal prepping and calorie counting and all that sort of thing. Because of that, I want you to just to stop trying to do everything all at once. And you need to remember that you're here to learn, and the good habits and building good habits and building anything good takes a lot of time. So rather than thinking like, oh my God, I have to get the gym right, I have to get all my food right, I have to get my sleep right, all this stuff, stop trying to do everything all at once and just identify the one or two habits that are going to move the needle the most for you. That might be different depending on kind of your background and who you are as a person and what your struggles are. Like we all have things that we find difficult that may be different, might be different to somebody else. But for example, the one or two habits that might need to change for you that will move the needle forward the most might be hitting your protein, it might be your steps, it might be just getting in the gym and training 3 times per week. I want you to ask yourself what those things are that you think need to be changed the most and just focus on those and just focus on one thing at a time and ask yourself, what one thing can I improve this week? You guys know we go through your check-in every single week and we normally kind of give you like, one thing to work on for the next week. We don't want to create overload or overwhelm. We just want to create flow and simplicity. So always ask yourself, okay, there might be a few things that I think need addressing, but what's like the one thing that I need to focus on right now? What one thing would need to be better next week? And just focus on that one thing. If you do that every single week, week in, week out, you'll look back in a few months' time and you'll be like, wow, I have made so much progress in so many different facets of what I'm doing and I didn't even actually really notice. So that's number one. Number two, I've talked to a couple of you guys on this call about this a little bit recently, but focus on data over drama. What I mean by this is trying to lead with the plan and lead with the structure that you have from us in this program and stick to the plan and try not to lead with your emotions so much. I know that's a little bit easier said than done sometimes. And trust me, this is something that I have battled with over the years as well. If you're someone that maybe does lead with your emotions a little bit, maybe you wear your heart on your sleeve, sometimes the natural response for us is to kind of respond to things emotionally. An example I've put in here is maybe talking about something like weight fluctuations. We're going to see the scales go up and down all the time. Sometimes we know that in our head, but it's still hard to see it. And I've talked to a lot of you guys about this recently, but let's say you step on the scale and you notice that the scales have gone up. What you want to do in that case, and I'm just using this as a specific example, is try not to then just react off of emotion. Try not to get upset and just go, oh my God, like the scale's gone up. I'm doing everything wrong. I've ruined it. All my progress has gone. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had that feeling before. I'm sure you have. But I want you to instead just kind of take a deep breath and try not to like knee-jerk react to anything in this process with emotion. I want you to try and respond more with thinking about the data. So if we take a weight fluctuation on the scale as the example here, instead of just reacting on emotion and knee-jerk reacting, take a deep breath and ask yourself, okay, why is that fluctuation there? Is there something that I'm not doing right now that I know deep down I'm not doing that I should be doing? If that's the case, then there's your answer. Okay, well, the scale's gone up, but I ate out and went over my calories yesterday, or I haven't really hit my steps this week. That's fine. We take the data over the drama and we work on that. And then you need to think to yourself, like, is there something I'm not doing that I should be doing? Or if not, why could this be the case? Like, why could this happen? Because regardless, you're going to have fluctuations anyway. I'm taking this as kind of like a specific example, but hopefully you guys can see in this moment that what I'm doing is I'm trying not to just react off of emotion on everything. I'm just trying to see everything as data and just react off the data. And from this, I want you to take this mantra with you. Follow the plan, do not follow your mood. Like I said earlier, we talked about motivation. Motivation is going to come and go. You're going to feel unmotivated a lot of times on this journey, but you're also going to feel motivated because it's so fleeting and because it's so up and down and it's not a tangible thing. We can't rely on motivation. We can't rely on our emotion to pull us through this. You have to just be willing to sometimes stick to the plan, do it when you're happy, do it when you're annoyed, do it when you're tired, Do it when you don't want to do it, but just be willing to stick to the plan and follow it. Sometimes that's kind of just what we have to do to kind of pull ourselves through, um, and not rely on our emotion, because our emotions are going to go up and down, upwards and backwards, sideways. So we can't rely on them, because if we just went by our mood, we wouldn't always get the stuff done that we need to. So that's your second focus point. Focus number three, don't overcomplicate your nutrition. This is a big one. Again, talking about focus point number one, where we're just saying, talking about ruthless simplicity, the same applies here, but I really want you guys to think about that with your nutrition. Just keep it really simple. Prioritize protein and prioritize fiber when you guys are in a fat loss phase. Focus on lots of protein with your meals, filling half of your plate with lots of lovely color, whether that's from fruit or from veg. Make sure that you're incorporating your favorite things and incorporating your treats into your diet, because that's really important. Nothing's forbidden, nothing's off limits. You're going to have a lot more fun and a lot less stress on this journey if you adopt that abundance mindset there. Plan ahead for your meals out. And I want you to really focus on with your nutrition specifically, flexibility over rigidity. Plans are going to come up, unplanned meals are going to come up. You're going to have meals out, but it's willing to be flexible and adapt to those changes and do your best and work your nutrition into your daily life. Focusing on being on flexibility rather than kind of like militant rigidity. And then if you have one day where you go slightly over, you just think, oh, screw it, and you throw the towel in. And the other thing I want to say here is, as well as just focus on keeping things really simple with your nutrition, try not to get tempted by new shiny objects. Again, talking about just being willing to stick to the plan, that's what you really need to be willing to do. If you want to have a long-term result here and if you want to keep it off for life, you've got to be willing to just stick to the basics and repeat them over and over, even if some days you don't fancy doing it. Even if some days it feels a little bit tedious tracking your food, meal prepping. Yes, sometimes it is going to feel tedious. It feels tedious for me sometimes, but repeating those daily non-negotiables and keeping it really simple and just being willing to be in that for the long game is the thing that's going to bring you the result. Sometimes something will come along and then we'll get tempted by like a new shiny thing and go, oh, maybe that new shiny thing that I've seen on Instagram is the thing that's going to get me the result, rather than what you're doing in the program. Try not to get tempted by those shiny objects and just focus on what you've been given in this process, because even though it might not seem the most like fun or exciting option, I promise you that the stuff you're doing in this program and the stuff that we're getting you guys to do and recommending you guys to do is the stuff that's going to get you the result. So keeping it simple and trying not to get tempted by shiny objects. Focus point number four, focus on your accountability and your environment. Your environment and what you're surrounding yourself with, what media and social media you're consuming on a daily basis, who you're surrounding yourself with, is going to beat your willpower every single time. So keeping things simple, like prepping your meals, that's going to remove decision fatigue, and keeping your home environment and your kitchen environment as simple as possible. Gym schedule into your diary is an absolute non-negotiable. Again, removing that decision fatigue, plotting your gym sessions into your virtual planner or your diary, whatever you use, plotting them in so that you know for a fact you're going to get to the gym. Your accountability and your environment there is everything. And a big thing here is make sure that you're leaning on the group if you want to smash the rest of this year. Lean on the community group that you're in. Never forget that you have the ability to be a part of a community of loads of other like-minded people who have the same goals as you and are literally going through the same thing as you. So always remember that and really use this group chat to your advantage and really lean on that for extra accountability and for extra support. The biggest game changer sometimes is that you're no longer doing this journey on your own. You've got a whole community and a whole network around you who are going through the exact same thing. And that's a really cool thing. And not everyone gets to kind of have that. Community really does make a big difference. So remember that. And also remembering that you're in this program and you have myself and you have Adam, whoever your main coach is, you have us both there for support whenever you need it as well. And on top of that, as boosting your accountability, your weekly check-ins. The people that have always had the most success inside this program with us are the people that show up every single week, even if they've had a terrible week, even if they've had an amazing week. They show up every week, they get their check-in done, they fill it out, they answer the check-in when we respond, they take the feedback into account, and they do that every single week, week in, week out. It's no surprise that people that do that and the people that do that are the people that win and get the biggest life-changing result every single time. So just remember that as you're going forwards in this program, like you're here for a reason and you've got so much community and so much accountability and support around you. So utilize it and make the most of it. And number five, the final thing is I want you guys to really think about for the rest of this year adopting a growth mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. You're going to have times on this journey where you don't have a great day. Maybe you don't have a great week. You're human. You're not a robot. That's going to happen and that's okay. But sometimes I think it's really good in order to zoom out a little bit and just think about having a bit of a growth mindset and just gaining a little bit of perspective. We don't have to do this. We don't actually have to do this. We don't have to lose weight if we really don't want to. We don't have to go to the gym if we really don't want to. We don't have to prioritize our health if we don't want to. But you guys have chosen to be here for a reason. You guys have joined this program for a reason. But you guys actually do get to do this. There are so many people out there that would love to be doing what we're doing and would love to be doing what you guys are doing, would love to be able to go to the gym 3, 4 times a week, would love to be able to prep their own food and to have that independence and to do all of that for themselves. There are so many people that would really love to do that can't. And I think it's really important to sometimes to gain that perspective. And sometimes if I have a day where I'm like in my feelings a bit and I catch myself by being like, oh, for God's sake, like I don't want to go to the gym and like I don't want to do this, like whatever it might be, which happens sometimes, it's really easy to then say to myself, you know what, I actually don't have to do this, but I do get to do this. And that's a really privileged thing and a really lucky thing. And we are really lucky to be able to do this. So never forget that. And I think sometimes having that perspective and honestly just like not getting so deep about things sometimes really does help you to kind of stay in it for the long game. And always remembering that, yes, you're probably going to have times on this program where you feel a little bit of discomfort. We're going to probably push you out your comfort zone sometimes and maybe get you to face some things, face some beliefs that you have about yourself, face some habits that maybe you've had for a long time that you know deep down kind of need changing, but you know that it might be a little bit challenging. We're probably going to get you to face those things at points on this program because it would kind of be impossible for it not to, given what you guys are kind of doing here. But always remember that embracing discomfort, embracing a bit of fear and embracing kind of taking that leap and going into the unknown is where the really good stuff happens. It's where you grow. It's where you progress, not just physically, but mentally and in your mindset as well. All of this stuff is kind of on the other side of embracing that discomfort. So if you are in a place where you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, wherever you might be in your journey, remember that that's actually a really good thing. And that's kind of how you want to be feeling. Because if we're just not really feeling like we're being pushed, if we're not really feeling like we're being challenged, maybe we're not going to grow. So this is actually a really good thing. And always remember, guys, that on top of adopting this growth mindset, always remember that there is nothing more important than your health. There is nothing more. A little bit cliche, but you know, people say if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. That is so true. Our health is the foundation of everything and the most important thing. So never forget that. And never forget that you guys are here because you want to be healthier. You want to lead a healthy lifestyle and you want your health to be a massive priority. And that's a great thing. And every setback that you have, rather than just thinking of it as a setback, it's feedback and it is a lesson learned for something else. So I want you guys to think of these next few months as kind of like a 90-day roadmap. It's 106 days until Christmas. I went through just before this call and I added it up. It is only 106 days until Christmas. And you wait, all the shops will start to have Christmas stuff in there soon. Everyone will start talking about their Christmas parties and things like that. Maybe people are at work already talking about that sort of thing. So because of that, I don't want you to think, oh, just the rest of this year. I actually want you to think about this as kind of like the next 90 days. Because, you know, when we get to Christmas, rightfully so, we start to wind down and we start to have a bit of time off, which we all should every Christmas. But I want you to think about this kind of like the 90-day roadmap until I think that's up until like the 15th of December of this year. I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, and whether you're listening to this live or if you're listening back, I want you to ask yourself these questions now. What's my number one reason for being here? Why do I want to be here? And what is the main thing that is driving me? Number 2, what's the one barrier that I must remove? What's probably the one biggest thing right now that's getting in the way for me? Is it that I'm feeling a bit stuck? I'm feeling a bit confused about one particular thing. Is it maybe a self-limiting belief that you're having? Maybe you think, oh God, I'm struggling in confidence, or maybe like you don't maybe think you can do something. what is that, whether it's mindset related or something physical? What's the one barrier that I've got to remove in order for me to get to where I want to get to? And the final thing, what is the daily non-negotiable? And what I mean by that is, I want you to suddenly think of one thing. I want you to pick one negotiable habit that you are going to commit to for the next 30 days. That could be anything. The biggest thing that you think needs to change, whether that's getting better sleep, whether that's getting more steps in, whether that's being more rigid with your meal planning so that you nail your calorie deficit. Maybe that's getting into the gym and making sure that you're completing your sessions as consistently and as often as you can. I want you to just pick one non-negotiable habit that you are going to 100% commit to for the next 30 days and that you're serious about. And I want you guys to write it down. And whether you're listening live or you're listening on the playback, whenever it might be, once you have decided that, once you've asked yourself these three questions, so let me recap the questions. What's my number one reason for being here? What's the one barrier that I must remove now? What's the daily non-negotiable? I want you to write that daily non-negotiable down, and I would love you guys to share it in your group, whatever group chat you're in. I'd love you guys to share it so that we can really raise the accountability up there, and we can check in about that after 30 days and see how you've done with it. That's everything I wanted to talk through this week, guys. It's been really great to have so many of you guys on this call. Like I said, we've kind of come out of summer now. Kids are back to school, I know. So now is an amazing time to really hunker down and really, really focus on finishing this year really strong with those focus points that I've just given you there. So I'm going to let you guys go, but I want you to take this, do that task that I said about writing down your non-negotiable habits, sorry, and I want you to share it in the group. So good to see you guys on the call. Have a great one, and I will talk to all of you guys very, very soon.